Hello, welcome back to All for United, and this is Today at Man United, your daily dose of Manchester United news. Well, it's been a bit of a rubbish weekend, I think, to say the least. I don't think we can say anything more than that. I think Joe's face says it all there, and obviously, Temi, we've had a little chat off. It's been a rubbish weekend, but guys, it's Monday. The sun is shining. United have a game tomorrow. It's a new week. So first of all, though, before we do get cracking, let's just have a final word on the weekend. I'll come to you, Joe. For you, before we wrap this up and we get moving on to tomorrow's game and the weekend, where did it all go wrong for United and who is to blame?
It just went wrong tactically. Everything with the formation, it just was wrong from the outset. It's across the board. There's no singular person. The only person I thought had a relatively good game was Scott McTominay, and but everyone around that it was just miserable, absolutely miserable. And like I've said it a few times before, I've said on Twitter, I said on the Wall of Reds last night that part of me thinks that the formation and everything he picked was a protest. I still think he put out the team that thought would beat Palace. There's also a team to the board being like, get me players, please. Because we're in huge trouble. If we are going, and I have a lot of time for Dan James, even though I know a lot of people don't, and Fosu Mensah, if we're going into the season as their main backups, like we're going to be struggling for top six, I think. We were the only team to lose, the only team from the top six, like from last season, to lose their opening game. And we didn't lose it like through a dodgy 1-0 or something like that. We were convincingly beaten by a team I think are going to get relegated at home. Yeah. So it's not good. That's it. That's all.
No, interesting though. I mean, I just want to say, Joe mentioned their Wall of Reds. If you hadn't had a chance to catch that last night, do watch it. I mean, some real passionate thoughts from all the guys on there. Some real interesting thought-provoking thoughts as well, So I definitely recommend giving that a watch. Jump on, have a look on our Twitter, have a look on our YouTube channel, get involved. If you are watching on Twitter or on Periscope, jump over to YouTube, get involved. We're live. Hit a subscribe on the channel, hit a like on the video if you're liking what you're seeing. Temi, I'm just going to give you a chance to have a final thought on the game. You're joining us today. Thanks for coming on, mate. Yep. Where do you lay the blame for the game? Was it on team selection? Was it on the players? Or is this something that goes much deeper on the board?
I'm not gonna blame it on the board at all. I mean, that's the easy out in this particular situation. The board has been, been shit for years. So I want to focus on the singular game, and it has to be on the manager. I'm sorry. Like Crystal Palace, I don't think they're going to get relegated like Joe just said, but we should be convincingly beating them. There's no excuse. And anyone who watched that game, if you can tell me what the strategy was, what the game plan was, nobody, I don't think one person could answer that question for me. Yeah. The only thing we could probably say is we played a high line. That's it. That is it against Crystal Palace, which makes no sense. Yeah. So the one tactical thing I figured out during the game made no sense. So it's all on the man. This game is on the manager. I'm sorry. It hurts to say it because I like him a lot, but it was miserable. We had midfielders just doing whatever they wanted to. Bruno was playing DM. To me, McTominay was hiding during the game. Pogba was misplacing passes. It was awful. Rashford has been bad for God knows how long. Martial couldn't put a foot right during the game. Don't even get me started on the defense because I'll get really, really pissed today. Like, don't even get me started on the defense. But let's just, I mean, honestly, it was on the manager. This particular game was on the manager. And I was really disappointed that he didn't take in during the post-match press conference. He didn't step up to the plate and accept that and take the blame for it. Reporters were asking about VAR decisions. He was almost using that as an excuse. That made me really upset. Instead of saying I got this wrong today. That was frustrating. That was very frustrating in my personal opinion.
It's interesting to me you say that because I think that's the thing throughout the weekend. When you have a defeat like that, I feel like everyone's looking for someone to blame, aren't they? Whether it's the manager, whether it's the players, whether it's the board. But like I said at the show, we're not going to dwell on that. It's Monday morning, and there's some love coming in for you already, Joe, mate. Like, here we go. Joe, it's man. Love you, bro. There you go. what better way to start your Monday morning? But let's move on now. Like I say, tomorrow's a game on Tuesday. Just quickly on tomorrow's game. I mean, in my opinion, it's the Carabao Cup, so the temptation is usually to obviously rest a few players and bring some other players up to speed. But I actually think he could do with playing a lot of the first team against Luton, because they need to get some more game time in their legs.
Completely agree.
Almost treat it like a pre-season game. And if they can get the win, that'll obviously do some good confidence. Would you go quite strong against Luton, Joe?
Yeah, I think it will be probably the only changes from what we saw the other day was I think Henderson will be in instead of De Gea, because I feel he'll probably just be doing cup games, and who knows, he'll get the Champions League. Probably De Gea will get that until he eventually replaces him. I'd love to see Mengi play, or at least be on the bench. I don't know. He wasn't on the bench the other day, was he?
Mengi, no, I don't.
Yeah. So I'd love if he got maybe 40 minutes if he doesn't start. Maybe, I don't know. Probably in and around the same lineup, I'd say we'll play. Maybe a couple of kids coming in, but like you said, yeah, we had one preseason game. Palace, I read the other day, they had 4 preseason games plus they played a week earlier. I'm not giving that as an excuse for why they should be sharper. We still should be beating them, but like the lads just need and Wan-Bissaka will be playing as well, I'd say. So I'd say it'll be a very strong team that will go against them with a couple of kids sprinkled in as well. Keep it fresh, but I don't know. I still wouldn't be surprised if Luton really put it up to us.
Yeah, exactly. Temi, I'll come to you quickly on that one. Tomorrow's team, would you go pretty strong as well, or do you think it's time to give the second team a chance?
He has to go strong. Luton have won 4 games on the bounce. They're not absolute shit. They're a championship team, so it's not like we're facing, Astana in Europa League. This is not like that. This is not that type of game at all. So we've struggled, and mind you, we struggled against Astana last year. Don't forget that. So, so we need to bring out a strong team. I imagine Matic and Fred are going to play. Like Joe said, I think AWB is going to play. I don't see. It's going to be hard to get our youth players getting game time in this season, especially because it's already looking like it's going to be a very, very long season. You feel me? So I think he's going to play a very strong team. I think the whole front three is going to play. I imagine Martial, Greenwood, because he has to win. Could you imagine if we lost against Luton Town after losing against Crystal Palace? Do you know what would – I just think it would be hard. It would be really hard to bounce back from that. Really, really hard to bounce back from that.
I do think that the pressure's cranked up on that game. I mean, normally it's a game that would come without much pressure at all, being Carabao Cup, but obviously given the importance of following up from what we did on Saturday, then that game takes on a bit of extra importance. Yeah. But we will have more build-up to Luton, the Luton game tomorrow on Today at Man United, so do tune in tomorrow morning. Is that you hosting tomorrow morning, Joe? Or?
No, I'm Thursday.
Okay, you're Thursday. That's cool. Well, tomorrow morning we'll have a host on. We'll have no doubt some great discussion about what's to be expected for tomorrow night's game. So let's move on to the news that's surrounding United. Most of it at the moment is transfer news. With 2 weeks to go in the transfer window, we've done absolutely nothing really in the window apart from signing Donny van der Beek, who incidentally got his debut goal. Well done to him for that. Yeah. But I thought he looked pretty good when he came on as well on Saturday. One of the most interesting stories that's out there at the moment is this idea that Dele Alli is going to leave Tottenham. There's been strong interest in Jesse Lingard from Tottenham to replace Dele Alli. Obviously, Jesse did quite well under Mourinho when he was at United. But I think people are putting 2 and 2 together and thinking, well, if United want rid of Lingard and Tottenham want rid of Alli and Tottenham want Lingard, do United want Alli? It's a player we've been linked with in the past. Joe, what do you think to this potential swap deal? Is it something that you'd be interested in, or would you just rather look to sell Lingard and invest that money elsewhere?
If the offer's on the table for a straight swap, I think Dele Alli is like twice or 3 times the player Jesse Lingard ever will be. And he's 24 and hopefully will improve. Maybe it's his attitude that's the problem. I'm not really sure why Spurs are getting rid of him, because he shows glimpses so often of being quality. But we know the way Mourinho is. He doesn't want players to develop. He just wants them to be brilliant right now, because he'll get sacked in a year anyway, and he knows that. So I'd say that's probably why he wants him out, and to bring in, I don't know why he wants Lingard. I don't know why anyone would want Lingard, to be honest. This is the most no-brainer deal for me. If we can get rid of Lingard, fine. If they want more money for Dele Alli. We won't go for that because we need a centre back. We need more positions filled before him. Like I would say, left back, centre back, holding midfielder, right winger. All of them need to be improved before we would even go in for Dele Alli. But if it's just a straight swap, there's no other option, then I would take it. But if there's a swap plus money, no.
Yeah. Good morning, lads. That's in from
Hey,
Reece.
Dave.
Good morning, Reece. Liking the positivity this morning. Loving the shows, lads. Stephen from Belfast. Interesting. Well done, mate. Thanks for getting involved.
Much
Thanks
love.
for getting in touch. If you are enjoying the video, like guys, do smash a like on it. Do subscribe to the channel. We have this program every day. Today at Man United, we have it every weekday. We have loads of other great content throughout the week. So do get involved. Temi, I'll come to you on Lingard. Obviously, I've just been asking Joe there about the potential of a swap deal with Dele Alli. But rumours have also suggested that if United just sell Lingard, they could get up to 30 million for him. I mean, when you think about how well he's done at United, I mean, that's a no-brainer deal. If Tottenham and Mourinho are willing to pay 30 million, we should be carrying him there on Edward's back, really.
Boy, if we get $30 million for Jesse Lingard, that is highway robbery. That is hilarious. Yeah. When I saw that, I almost cried laughing. I'm like, yo, these people really don't watch football, man. Like, this guy has been poor for years. And I'm not talking, like, ever since he I think his last big shining moment was like England in the semifinal where he played. He just played. You know what I mean? Like, he's not that good. He's really not that good. Even in his purple patch at United, it was like what Dalot Alli did last year, like in a poor season for him. So if we actually did a swap deal for Jesse Lingard for Dalot Alli, I wouldn't be. I don't know how Dalot would get used. Obviously, like I don't know. Obviously, he'd probably come off the bench, come in for Bruno or something like that. But he's not been in the best form. I'm not saying like it's only genius because Lingard's so bad, in my opinion. Like he's been truly that poor. Like he scored I think wasn't his first goal of the season, the last goal of the season. It's just like that says enough right there of the amount of production he's been giving us. It's hilarious. It's really hilarious to me that this is. I don't think it's gonna happen. First of all, I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think we're gonna get a swap. Like we're not that smart. We're not gonna get a swap deal done for. It's never in a million years is that happening. But would I do it? 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%.
It's interesting because obviously I think Ben put a tweet out on the All for United Twitter account yesterday suggesting that actually this is a really good deal for United if they can pull this swap off, but that's all the reasons why they won't, because it just sounds too good to be true. And when something sounds too good to be true involving United in transfers, it
makes too much sense.
It invariably is. Some interesting comments coming in here. Bite their hand off if they offer 30 million. I totally agree. If they're willing to pay 30 million, take it and run.
Tiago just went for that price.
10 to 15 million. We're selling for 30. United are turning this situation into a crazy goal mine. Yeah, because the problem is if they do sell for 30, you want to see that's all invested, and that would be interesting to see, obviously, for the rest of the window. Another player that's been linked with leaving United over the last 24 hours, and the rumours are getting stronger and stronger, and I'll come to you first of all, Joe, on it, is Dan James, and talk about him going back to Leeds. Now, one thing I want to ask you first of all, I think second half of the season and the start of this season, although we've only had one game, he does seem to have struggled a little bit. But do you think he's had enough time to sort of prove himself as a United player? And again, if United can get that deal done, do you think it's time that he goes? I mean, he's only been at the club around just over 12 months, hasn't he?
I think it'd be really bad to get rid of him, to be honest. I think like he's only 21, or is he 22? Yeah, I don't even think. And like
he might be 20. He might be 23.
He's not 23. I
think he's around that age. Yeah.
But he's a young player, isn't he?
Yeah.
22. My bad. He's 22.
Okay, thank you. So 22, completely different. But he
will not be trusted. If you're watching, Dad, we're sorry about that,
mate. I think he deserves a bit more time. I think he had a kind of rough enough year last year, like losing his dad, but then he signed for United, and I think that he started off with a bang and kind of drifted off. And I think I don't want to sell him as well, because we don't have enough people on that side. Because if you think about it, if we get rid of Lingard, we get rid of him, we've literally had no right wingers at all. So except for fucking Ander Pereira. So I don't think he meant going to Leeds. Well, like, yeah, he was signed for Leeds and early, so it counts, all right? Leave Joe alone. But I think maybe on a loan deal, if we have someone coming in and he gets some Premier League experience at Leeds, I think that'd be excellent. But I would feel, and because he's playing for a national team as well, and he's really highly regarded, and Giggs is a huge fan of him. So I think there's a lot more there, but maybe going off on loan, I would accept that. But I think if we sell him, it'll come back and bite us.
Yeah, no, apologies for that one. He's not going back to Leeds. Obviously, he did come from Swansea. I do know that. I think what I was trying to say was, I know he was linked with going to Leeds before he come to United. I think he was quite close to going to Leeds.
He was literally, he's pictured in a Leeds jersey.
Yeah, he was. So, I mean, that's interesting that obviously, that they've kept that interest high in him and are looking at getting him back. Temi, Dan James, I mean, start last season, he looked like such a buy, didn't he? I do feel for him because I feel that the time he's come to United, he's probably played more games than he probably would have expected of him, but because of our lack of squad depth and because of, lack of signings, he's probably had more game time than they wanted. But do you think that's any excuse, or do you think that he's shown us that he's not a United player?
No, I don't think it's an excuse. I think I do pity him because he got thrown into a situation that he probably should not have gotten thrown into. He played well over 30 Premier League games last year and started a bunch of them. Yeah. To me, he proved last year he's never going to be a starter for Manchester United in his life. Ever. I don't think that's if he's a starter for Manchester United going forward, it's not good for us. I'm so sorry. He doesn't have one step over to his game. He's very predictable, and everyone in the league knows what he's about now. After that little purple patch where he scored some nice goals, he just doesn't make the right decisions. He's not really that skilled, to be quite honest with you. I wouldn't sell him right now unless Leeds offers something. If Leeds are offering let's say they offer 20 million for him, I'd probably do it because I don't think we'd ever get that resale value again, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
He hasn't scored a goal since September in the league. Am I being? I don't think I'm wrong about that.
I think he's right.
And it's like people want him to. I feel like people really, really like him because of that. They saw the glimpse, and they're always going back to that. What if he goes back to that? But he's never going to go back to that, guys. Like if your winger who's playing consistently isn't scoring, it's just I'm sorry. There's only so much I can do with you. I think Bielsa, what he sees is a blank canvas. Bielsa sees pace and something I can work with. I can turn him into a world-class player. Like, he has athletic ability, you know what I mean? But he has no skill or football brain currently. So if Leeds want him for 20, 25 million, I would pull the trigger. I don't think he's good enough. I'm sorry. This year, let's say he doesn't get sold, this year is all about him proving he can be on the bench to me. Can he survive on the bench? Yeah. That is what this year is for me. But other than that, if he's a Manchester United starter going forward, we have dropped the ball. I'm mad at Ryan Giggs for making us buy him for that much money anyway. Ryan Giggs, that was a poor suggestion. For 20 million.
Interesting you say that, Temi. This comment sort of maybe an argument to that, but also agrees with what you said regarding Bielsa about he needs time to develop. He's fast. We need that. I wouldn't agree to tell him as well. And I'm wondering if that, Kim Shine there. I wonder if they're onto something, Joe, because I just think, Temi talks there about Bielsa seeing a blank canvas, and if we sell a young player so quickly like that, although you could argue he hasn't really made it, does it also look like we failed him a little bit as well? Because he has got a lot of the
we did fail him
to be a United player, but he hasn't kicked on. So does it look great if United sell him just over a year on?
Go ahead, Joe.
Wait, what was the question? I was sorry.
Oh yeah.
If we sell him a year on, that's what I mean. Like, the only thing I'd accept.
Does it look good for United? Obviously, because Temi talks there that Bielsa sees a blank canvas, and I'm sure we do as well. And if Bielsa can make him into a good player, 12 months after, next year, year, then it doesn't look great on us, does it?
Yeah, no, I think. I think we are setting ourselves up for a fall for selling a young player that is eagerly wanted by another Premier League club. And I completely agree with what Timmy's saying, that he had a lot of opportunities last season and didn't take them. But I think there was just a lot thrown on him a bit too soon. I think if we get him out of here on a loan deal, and hopefully Leeds have no option to buy, I think we could see a different player by the end of it. I think he needs to be playing at that level at this moment in time. I think at a level that Leeds are at, a lower part of the Premier League, with different sort of pressures on him and different sort of football and different belief in him. I think he could really shine. And Temi, I can see you agreeing with me profusely.
I'm sorry. Like I feel I just disagree. I'm so sorry. Like
it's all right.
He's not gonna improve under Alli. I'm so sorry. I feel like he's not going to take it. He's not going to take it to this level that we think he's not going to get it. Like if you don't get it after. I mean, he played a lot. I think people are forgetting how much we actually saw this man play last year. Like, he played a ton of football, and he just looked like he lacked ideas. And I'm talking about when we're facing really, really poor teams, he lacked ideas. Like, just I think culmination. Just like I just thought about a play against Crystal Palace this past Saturday, where he has the ball in the box. There's people surrounding him. And he just kicks it straight into the player's feet. I'm like, that's where I'm thinking, like, the football brain is, and Bielsa, mind you, he's a better manager than Alli. A lot of people don't know Marcelo Bielsa. They don't know his history. He is a much better tactical manager than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is. So he's seeing somebody he can actually improve. And look at the players he has. Look what they did to Liverpool. Look what they just did. Who did they face this past weekend? Fulham. I mean, these aren't players most of us wouldn't want on our team, right? And they looked wavy. Like, they looked wavy for the past 2 weeks. So I don't think they would ever accept a loan deal for Dan James, because why would they improve him only for him to come back to us? So I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, Dan James, love you, bro. But I just don't think you cut the mustard, man. I'm sorry.
Right now,
Joe, I just want to come to you quickly before we finish on Dan James. We've had so many comments coming in here. In fact, it's flooding in, and I haven't got time to get them all on the screen. But a lot of the comments have been around, the guy's played on the right wing.
Yeah, he's right winger.
Is there an argument to say, he has been played a little bit out of position, and therefore should he be given a chance on the left wing before United make a decision? But I don't see how he's going to get in on that left wing, because obviously Rashford's the choice. But is there an argument to say, well, give the kid's being played out of position, so it's unfair to judge him?
Yeah, that's kind of it. Like, I do agree with Tammy. I don't think he's ever going to be as good as Marcus Rashford, but I think as an alternative, I think he will be. Like, he's not excellent right now, but I think he will be. That's why I'm hoping, it's ideal if he goes on loan to Leeds. I don't know if that's the way it'll work out, because they will probably be like, no, we want to buy him. That's it. But hopefully we can work out a thing, because they've spent a good bit of money. Maybe they can't afford to buy him, and they're looking for him on loan. But he needs to play on the left wing, because that is his position, or even down the middle more so, like he's doing for Wales. And that's what I mean. In a couple of years' time, if we do sell him, it could end up biting us in the arse, and I don't want that. I want our arses to remain unbitten by players we sell.
I'm seeing a comment here that says,
I'm going to whip it up. You don't love Dan James, just at least have
No, you see, people don't understand what constructive criticism is. They think if you talk badly about a player, or not badly, if you criticize a player's game that you don't like them, that is the furthest thing from the truth. I like Dan James a lot, and I hope I'm wrong. Like, I hope everything I'm saying about him is completely incorrect, because if I'm incorrect, that only makes Manchester United better. Am I right about that? I think I definitely am. So, like, him improving only is in my best interest. So yeah, no, I disagree with that. Brown Knight. Dan James is my guy.
Now we would love all these players to prove us wrong, because if, like you say, then we're on for. If Dan James is knocking in 20 goals this season as a squad player, then we're doing it now.
I want Pereira to do good, but he's never going to do good. So it's like, sorry, leave.
That's the interesting thing, about these fan channels. Nothing is personal. We don't know these guys personally. Some of us may have met them. Some of us may have had brief chats. Sorry, go on, Joe.
I'd like to say I personally hate Jesse Lingard, and I've never met him. So I want to put that one on the record, okay?
All right, well, there you go. Yeah, well, we don't want to spread too much hate, do we, guys?
Right. It's all love. All
love on this channel anyway. So before we finish, there is one more transfer story. It's an obvious one. It's been going around for much more than the last 24 hours. It's Alex. I can't speak. Alex. It's early for me on a Monday morning, 10 a.m. guys. I know that sounds lazy, but
it's 5 a.m. for Temmie. He's doing great.
I know, yeah. 5 a.m. Temmie. That is commitment. Yeah.
Hey Joe, you gotta step it up. You gotta step it up.
You know what? There's a lot of people alive and awake in the comments as well. We've had some brilliant comments.
James's class.
Sorry, I haven't been able to get them all on. Some people suggested play as a left winger, didn't need to play as a left winger. That's fine. Don't worry. You know, it's so good to hear from you guys. If you're enjoying the video, do smash a like on it. Do subscribe. Like I said, there's so much good content coming up here. But yeah, let's have a little chat about Alex Telles. It's a name that's sort of come up a little bit more, I feel, since the Reguilón deal fell through, although we were interested before that. But in the last 24 hours, there has been talk that we are about to submit a bid for this player. And again, talk of a swap deal involving another United player, maybe Diogo Dalot. Obviously, He did start at Porto, didn't he? And he is going back. I'm sure I've got that one right this time. You know, but you know, it hasn't happened for Diogo Dalot. I mean, for you though, Joe, is the swap deal the way forward, or should we just be looking to bring Alex Telles in and keep Dalot in the squad, or sell him as part of a different deal?
Yeah, look, whatever way. Like I always liked Dalot, however you say his name. I don't even think he got a fair whack of the stick at the beginning of his career, but then sort of stopped playing. Like I don't know what's really going on behind the scenes, and because everyone just is mad to get him out of the club. I think sure, why not a swap deal? Whatever works out that we actually get a player. And I can't pretend that I know a lot about Alex Telles. I can just say I've heard his name a lot in the last, ever since he's been linked to United. And Usman goes on about how amazing he is, so I'm just going to agree with him for the first time in my life, and just say, yeah, absolutely. Like I think he had something like 15 assists and a couple of goals last season for Porto. It might be the Portuguese league, but Luke Shaw's 1 goal and 1 assist in his entire career. So I like those odds better than Luke Shaw.
Yeah,
who can actually attack and who knows how to play the ball forward. So absolutely.
Cool. I'm enjoying the video. Kinshine says, you guys rock Man United all the way. Thank you for this, guys. Yeah, I agree. Thank you for getting in touch, and I'm glad you're enjoying the video. Temmie, I'm going to come to you. Alex Telles, is it a player that you're aware of? I've got to be honest with you, I'm a little bit like Joe. I haven't seen a lot of him play Portuguese.
Right.
I've seen a lot of, but I've got to be honest with you, I've seen his numbers, and his numbers look incredible, to be fair. And I think sometimes you have to be careful looking at statistics because they can only the story. But I've also seen some of his goals as well. He looks like he likes to score goals from long range, and I feel sometimes Shaw gets in positions where you think, have a dig sort of thing, but he tends to look for a short pass square or backwards. So I don't know what you think about this idea of Alex coming in. And another part to the question. It could be about £23 million, which a lot of people are also saying is a bargain. So how do you feel?
No, I definitely like it. I've probably watched 3 full games that he's played, so I'm not saying I'm like an Alex Telles savant, but the little I've seen of him, it's more about the intention. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to Telles, like his mind is all focused on getting forward and overlapping. And that's something that we lack on the left-hand side right now. I personally am not a Luke Shaw hater like a lot of people. Like, Luke Shaw is probably like the most divisive player in our team. And just in terms of people either love him and think he's the best left back in the world, or they absolutely hate him. I'm like in the middle. But I do think Alex Telles is an upgrade. You know what I'm saying? If we have a very defensive-minded right back, I think we need a very forward-thinking left back. You know what I'm saying? AWB is the best defensive right back in the world to me. If we have one of the best offensive left backs in the world overlapping with Rashford, especially when Rashford's struggling, like Rashford's really in a tough place right now. He's struggling for form. If you have a left back that's helping him and actually overlapping every single time and making his job easier, that can only be in our best interest. And Luke Shaw coming off the bench as a replace or as a backup left back that's a solid backup left. That's probably the best backup left back in the league. You know what I'm saying? So I think, and it's a very affordable, smart, shrewd deal in my opinion. I think I would do it. The swap aspect of it, that I feel bad for Dalot because he never got a chance. He never really got a run of form or run of games in the side. I think when Alli first got, go ahead, Joe.
No, it's like, why do we think that is? It seems like
I don't think Alli rocks with him like that. It's just call a spade a spade. Like every manager has players where the fan base thinks, why isn't he getting a run of games? And we don't see what happens in training every day. That's what I always harp back on for most of the time is when a manager makes that decision, right? Like we just don't see what's going on in training. And any of us who played sports at a decent level, I used to hoop, I used to play basketball. Like, when someone's not practicing well, you know what I'm saying? When someone's not putting in that effort and the reason they're not playing. But we just don't see that. So maybe that's Dalot's issue. And also he's just injury prone. Let's just call it spade a spade. We bought him injured. He's been injured like probably 60% of the time he's been here. You know what I'm saying? So like, why would Alli put his faith in that? But I like Dalot, and I'm sad we're probably never gonna see him, get a chance. But oh well.
Yeah, honestly. No, I think it's a really interesting point, and I think Dalot, I'm like you, Timmy. I do get the feeling that Solskjaer just doesn't fancy him for whatever reason. There has been stories that he doesn't like it. If he's not playing, he's a bit of a sulker. But every player sulks a little bit when they're not playing. But I just feel like Dalot came with an injury, and it just seems to be something that has plagued him ever since. But I think that's about all we've got time for today, guys. So I do really appreciate you coming on. It's been a great show. Hopefully we can watch your space over next week. I think it's a massive week for United in terms of doing something. I feel like they have to do something maybe off the pitch in terms of a transfer deal to sort of get the fans back on side a little bit.
Better not lose that game.
Yeah, if we next Saturday and we don't look close to signing someone or we haven't signed someone, then I just think the pressure builds even more, and I think we can expect a tough game next Saturday because obviously Brighton won this weekend.
Can I ask one question before it ends, for people to mull over? Do we think that we will have Solskjaer at the club at the beginning, even by Christmas? I have it in my mind by the 19th of December, we will lose to Leeds away and he'll be sacked the following day. I just have a feeling that that's the way it's going to go. I don't want it to go that way. I believe in Solskjaer, but I just have this narrative going that the boards don't have belief in him, and he'll be gone by that. I have that date in my mind, and we'll see what happens. But hold me to it.
I'm sure everybody's enjoyed the show today, but you've certainly left the Ollie out crowd very excited as we leave the show. If nothing else, mate, they will enjoy that final thought that you've given them there.
Well, I'm Ollie in, okay? I'm just saying worst case scenario. I just
have Joe, you might be on to something.
I hate when I'm right, and I'm right a lot.
This guy.
All right. Thank you anyway. Thanks again, Joe, for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it. Well done, mate. Thank you, Temi, especially you, mate. What commitment. 5 a.m. over there in the States. Thanks for jumping on, mate. Appreciate your time and up to work with you again.
All love.
Cheers, man. Okay. So remember, guys, if you've enjoyed the video, do smash a like on it. Subscribe to the channel. We'll be back tomorrow morning with another Today at Man United. Until then, take care, everyone, and we'll see you soon.